New AI models like Nano Banana have made their way into the most recent version of Affinity, but where do you find these? How do you use these? And exactly how much of your AI usage allowance are you using up when you use these models? We're going to look at all that in this video. Okay, in the April 2026 release of Affinity, a new feature that I haven't heard talked about that much, if we scroll down, we'll see right here, more choices with the new AI quality options. So where are we going to find these? How is it going to work? How much access do we actually have? Let's take a look at that. So before we get started here, just a reminder that this is from the April 2026 update of Affinity. So if you go under the Help menu in Affinity and go under About, you can see what version you're currently on. And you also can go under that Help menu and check for updates if you want to see if there's a newer version of Affinity you can grab a hold of. Okay, so here in Affinity under the Pixel Studio, if we just grab this selection tool here and we drag out a selection, and then we go up to Generative Fill up here at the top of the screen, we'll notice under this dialog here, you're not really going to notice a difference. This new feature, these new AI models are not available under this Generative Fill, but they are available to other places. So how do we get to those? Let's look and see where you actually get to these new options. These new AI models are going to be available to you under the Canva AI tab if you are a pro Canva user. The first place you will find these new AI models is over here in this Generate Image tab. Underneath here you have new models, so we'll come back to this in a minute, but then the other place you're going to find this is over here in the left menu underneath the Generative Edit tool. So if I open that up, now we can see in here that we have this drop down box at the top where it says Flux Context, but we also have Nano Banana Ultra and we have SeeDream Ultra. So I can choose Nano Banana Ultra, then I'm going to come in here with this marquee selection around the tiger, and I'll change this to change to a lion. Now before I run this, it's important to note here that notice the crown icon by the edit button. And all these Canva AI tools are accessible if you have a pro Canva account. And in Canva, pro features are designated by this crown icon. So that crown icon means it's a pro feature, and it also means we're going to use AI usage credits when we run this. So how do we monitor all this to know how much usage we're using for any one of these models here when we run and edit a new image? Well, your Affinity account is going to be connected to a Canva account, so you want to come under whatever Canva account that is. Then in the bottom left, you're going to look for your little profile image. You want to go under Settings, and then from there, you want to go under the Billings tab. Under here, you're going to have this AI usage section, and under here, you're going to see what percentage of your allotment of usage you've used for that month. And then also you can see what that monthly reset date, so you know when that's going to set back to 0. Because each month you have a set amount of usage that you get to use. Now there's also a little link here if you want to look and see what features use up your limits, you can do that. And also, of course, there's that crown Get More button if you want to get more AI usage. So pay attention to that billing section just so you understand how much AI usage you have left for a month and when that resets. We're also going to pay attention as we go through now through some examples just so we can get a sense for how much credit usage we're going to use up when we use these different models. So I have Nano Banana Ultra selected. I will go ahead and click Edit. Change to lion is what I typed in for my prompt. I have this area selected on the screen. So we're going to give it a moment to generate this edit here, and then we'll get to see what kind of result. But now we have the ability to choose between these different models when we're doing something like this inside of Affinity. So now here's the result we have on screen. So it's taken that tiger and it has replaced it with this lion. Now I can bring in that Canva billing screen as an overlay and see we were at 8% before I ran this image, but if I hit refresh now, we've gone to 12%. So just generating this one image here with Nano Banana, that was 4% of my monthly usage. So this might give you better results than some of the other models, but you have to keep in mind you are using up a fair amount of usage when you run this. So let's run this again, but this time under that Generative Edit dialog, I'm going to switch from Nano Banana and I'm going to choose the top option, this Flux Context. And so I'm going to choose that model. There's also SeeDream in here, which we'll check out in a minute. But first, let's do that Flux Context. And we're going to do the same prompt, so change to line. So exact same prompt, but I'm going to go ahead and click Edit. Let this run again, and we'll see we get a totally different result. So here's our result, more of an illustrated look, and it also looks like it's blended the tiger's face with the body of a lion. So not quite what we want maybe, but let's see what it used in the way of AI credit. So we'll bring in that usage overlay again. We were at 12% before this image. Let's go ahead and hit refresh. And so now we go from 12% to 13%. So this was only 1% of our usage, so 4 times less than using that Nano Banana model. So some of those premium models also come with premium credit usage, so you just got to keep that in mind. Under Generative Edit, we also have the SeeDream model, so let's go ahead and let's run this as well. So it is generating a new result for us, and there we go. Again, something totally different than we got before. Once again, we'll check our AI usage. We were at 13% before this one, so let's update that, and 17%. So this one, just like Nano Banana, also used 4% of your credits. So again, a lot of usage for these premium models. Another thing to keep in mind, I started with a really high resolution source image, so we can see how crisp and clear this image is. With the generative edit, the results I got back certainly were not that. They're much lower resolution, you can tell. So this is going to be pixelated, it's going to be a little blurry, this other one as well. So we could try to upscale those in some way, and there's even a super resolution tool in here. We could try on these, but just keep in mind, with generative edit at least, we're not going to get something back that's super high resolution, so depending on your needs, it may or may not work for you. Now, we can get a slightly better resolution of result if we use this other Generate Image option. However, how much AI usage is that going to use? Well, there's only one way to find out, so in Pixel Studio here, I'll drag a selection around this, then let's switch back again to Canva AI, and we're going to go under this Generate Image option. We're going to see that in here we do have different options than we had under the Generative Edit tool. Now we have Leonardo Lucid Origin Premium, Nano Banana Ultra, SeeDream Ultra, Nano Banana 2K Ultra, and SeeDream 4.5 Ultra HD Ultra. So we seem to have some more premium options here within this Generate Image dialog. But that may equal more AI allowance usage, so we'll have to see what happens here. But let's just choose this Nano Banana 2K Ultra, because why not? Why not to go big? So I'm going to choose that Nano Banana 2K Ultra, and then we're going to go in here and we're going to type in a prompt, create a lion, and then we'll go ahead and click generate. So it's going to do its thing. It's going to take its time generating this image. We'll see what we get back. It should be more resolution than we got before with those other options, but then how many more credits are we going to use? So we're going to check out both of these things now. Okay, it came back with this image here, so it does look like it's more higher resolution. But let's go ahead and zoom in so we can see that better. So let me zoom in here. We can see, yes, this is a much crisper result. So we are getting back a much higher resolution image, but at what cost? How many credits did we use to generate this image? And if we take a closer look here, we'll see that it actually returned multiple variations, so 4 different variations. So in this variations box here, we're on this one now, but if we click through to the other ones, we can see the other options here. So it actually gave me a bunch of different options. So let me zoom in and take a look at this one, and we can see the resolution on this one is really good. So this model is doing a much better job because we're using this 2K Ultra model. However, I just generated 4 images. So I'm guessing I just took a big hit on my AI usage for the month. Now, you can come in there and change this. I forgot to look for this, so don't fall into this trap if you really want to monitor your usage closely. If you click these 3 dots in here, you have the style you can choose from, so you have all these different styles. So I just chose stock photo, but there are other ones if you want it to be an illustration, if you want it to be HDR, if you want it to be vibrant, if you want it to be one of these other different kinds of images, one of these other styles, you can choose that. There's also a square aspect ratio, which it gave me because that was the default setting, but you also have a landscape and a portrait mode. And then right here, this image count, you can take this down to 1 if you really want to monitor your credits. I wasn't paying attention. By default, it was set at 4, so we'll have to take a look and see what damage I suffered in terms of my monthly allotment of AI usage I have through my Canva Pro plan. So we were at 17% before we ran that Ultra model, and now we're at 49%. So that's 32% that it went up. And remember, I did 4 photo variations, so basically 8% per photo. So you are using more AI usage when you go to that premium model. So you might want to keep that in mind. You might not want to use that all the time, but for things where you really want to have a high resolution result, you can use it. Or if you're at the end of the month and you know your credits are about to reset, that would be a great time to use this as well. But just keep in mind, 8% of your usage for each photo it generated. So I think the takeaway is that it is nice that we have these new AI models to choose from here inside of Affinity, but you do have to keep in mind that they're going to use varying amounts of AI credits, so you may not want to use them for everything. I probably did not need to use one to make a YouTube thumbnail, but I figured, hey, why not? Let's generate a picture with the banana underneath the paw of this lion here, and then that was a low resolution, so I had to blend it in with the background, do some other things. So this was a task I probably could have done by just grabbing a stock photo of a banana and doing it a different way and saving those AI credits. But hey, for the purpose of testing and for the purpose of this video, why not? So those are the new AI model options available inside of Affinity. Helpful. It's nice to have these new options, but just be aware of that extra AI usage allowance that you're going to be using when you use some of those models. Thanks again for watching. I hope you learned something. If you like videos like this, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the